Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a personalized journey through the world of studying in the UK. We've got a stack of articles, guides, and even some real student experiences to kind of sift through.
That's right. We'll be looking at the benefits, the challenges, and even give you some tips on navigating the whole process. So think of this as your shortcut to becoming a UK study expert.
Okay, let's unpack this. First up, WHY, would someone even consider studying in the UK? We've got Arav's story right here. He earned his master's in data science in Edinburgh. What struck me was how quickly he landed a job after graduating, just 3 months at a top tech company.
Yeah, Arif's story is a great example of how UK degrees can be a real springboard to a global career. UK institutions, especially ones like Edinburgh with its strong tech scene, are highly sought after by employers worldwide.
That makes total sense. His one-year master's program definitely gave him a head start compared to like longer programs in other countries.
And that's a key advantage of studying in the UK. It's not just the shorter duration, but the focused, intensive nature of the programs. So you're gaining in-depth knowledge in a shorter time frame, which saves you both time and money.
So you're immersed in your field and ready to enter the workforce sooner. Speaking of entering the workforce, the UK's graduate route visa is a game changer, right? 2 years to find a job or even start a business? That's huge.
It is. Many students leverage this time to gain experience in niche UK industries like fintech or renewable energy, which boosts their global career prospects. I've seen students use it as a stepping stone to work visas or even permanent residency.
Wow, that opens up so many possibilities. Okay, so we've got the time advantage and potential career advantages, but what about the quality of the education itself? We often hear about these prestigious universities like Oxford and Cambridge.
Yes, the UK boasts some of the oldest and most respected universities globally. These institutions are steeped in tradition. They have world-class faculty, and they attract top students. And their reputation for academic excellence translates into real value for graduates.
But it's not just about those big names, right?
Absolutely. The UK has a very robust higher education system. Even if you're not at Oxbridge, you can still get a top-notch education at other universities, many of which are also highly ranked globally. The key is to really research specific programs and departments.
I noticed in our sources that the UK is a leader in research and innovation. How does that benefit students?
It's a huge advantage. Imagine working with leading researchers in cutting-edge facilities. The UK is at the forefront of valuable experience.
That's incredible. So you're not just learning theory, you're applying it to solve real-world problems. I bet that makes for a much more engaging learning experience.
Precisely. And it gives students a competitive edge in the job market. Employers value graduates who have practical experience and have contributed to groundbreaking research.
So we're ticking off time efficiency, global career opportunities, high educational standards, and research exposure. It's starting to sound pretty appealing.
And let's not forget the multicultural environment. The UK attracts students from all over the world, creating a vibrant and diverse atmosphere. Imagine the perspectives and friendships you'll gain from interacting with people from different cultures.
It's like a global hub, right? You're constantly exposed to new ideas and ways of thinking.
Exactly. That global exposure is highly valued by employers. They seek graduates who can navigate cultural differences and bring diverse perspectives to the table.
Okay, so far we've highlighted a lot of benefits, but let's be real, there are challenges too, right? One that immediately comes to mind is the cost.
You're right. Tuition fees and living expenses, especially in cities like London,
Just have to ask, what kind of benefits do you
well, there are various scholarships, which are funded by the UK government. They are highly competitive, but they cover a significant portion of the costs. Universities themselves also offer scholarships and bursaries, so it's worth checking their websites.
I see, so thorough research is key. Are there any less-known funding avenues that students might overlook?
Absolutely. Some professional organizations or foundations offer grants specific to certain fields of study. Don't be afraid to think outside the box and explore options beyond the typical scholarships.
That's great advice. It's like a hidden treasure hunt for funding opportunities. Speaking of navigating unfamiliar territory, what about the visa process? I imagine it can be daunting for first-time applicants.
It can seem complicated, but it's manageable with careful planning. The UK government has streamlined the process in recent years, making it more transparent. The key is to start early, gather all the necessary documents, and meticulously follow the guidelines.
That makes sense. So meticulous planning and attention to detail are crucial. Are there any common pitfalls students should be aware of during that visa application process?
One common mistake is not providing sufficient financial documentation to prove you can support yourself during your studies. The UK government wants to ensure students can cover their living expenses without relying on public funds.
That's understandable. They want to make sure students are financially prepared for their stay.
Another crucial aspect often overlooked is thoroughly understanding the post-study work visa rules. It's not automatic. You need to meet specific requirements to be eligible.
I see. So it's not just about getting that initial student visa, but also planning for what comes after graduation.
Exactly. It's all part of a strategic approach to studying in the UK.
This deep dive is already providing some valuable insights. I'm sure our listener is starting to see the bigger picture. We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much more to explore.
Indeed. Next, we'll delve deeper into the application process itself, from choosing the right program to crafting a standout personal statement. We'll also unpack the different types of UCS applications, which can be particularly relevant for those aiming for highly competitive programs.
All right, we've talked about the big picture, why the UK is attractive, the potential benefits, and some initial challenges. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty. The application process. I know this can be a bit daunting, especially if you're not familiar with the UK system.
It's true, there are some unique aspects to the UK application process. But don't worry, it's all about breaking it down into manageable steps.
That's reassuring. So where do we begin?
Well, the first step is understanding the two main pathways: undergraduate and postgraduate studies. For undergraduate programs, you'll generally apply through a centralized system called UCAS, the Universities and Colleges Admission Service.
Okay, UCAS got it. What about postgraduate programs?
For postgraduate like master's or PhD programs, you usually apply directly to the universities you're interested in. Each university will have its own specific application portal and requirements.
So two distinct pathways. That makes sense. But regardless of the pathway, there are some universal elements, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll need to showcase your academic abilities through your previous qualifications. This usually means providing transcripts from your secondary school or previous university, along with any standardized test scores required.
Speaking of standardized tests, what about English language proficiency?
That's crucial. Most UK universities require international students to demonstrate their English language skills through tests like the IELTS or TOEFL. However, some institutions might favor one over the other for specific programs.
So it's not just about taking any English test, but choosing the one that aligns with your chosen program and university. I see. What about the personal statement? I've heard it plays a big role in UK applications.
It's extremely important. The personal statement is your opportunity to tell your unique story beyond grades and test scores. UK universities want to see your passion, your motivations, and how you'll contribute to their academic community.
So it's not just about listing your achievements, it's about conveying your personality and your fit for the program.
Precisely. It's about demonstrating your critical thinking, your intellectual curiosity, and your alignment with the university's values. Think of it as a conversation starter with the admissions committee.
I like that, a conversation starter. Now, what about letters of recommendation? Are they equally important?
They definitely hold weight, especially for postgraduate applications. These letters offer a third-party perspective on your academic capabilities, research potential, or work ethic.
So choosing the right recommenders is crucial. Someone who knows you well and can speak to your strengths specifically.
Absolutely. Someone who can go beyond generic praise and provide specific examples of your skills and achievements. I'd recommend reaching out to professors or mentors who've closely supervised your work.
This is all great advice. We've covered the essentials: transcripts, test scores, personal statements, and recommendations. But are there any nuances specifically for those aiming for highly selective programs like at Oxford or Cambridge?
That's a great question. Applications to these institutions often involve additional steps, like entrance exams or interviews. For example, Oxbridge applicants might need to take subject-specific tests, showcasing their in-depth knowledge in their chosen field.
So even within the UCAS system, there are specialized pathways for these highly competitive programs.
Exactly. And for interviews, preparation is key. These interviews go beyond typical questions. They often involve analyzing a text, solving a problem, or discussing a complex issue, all to assess your critical thinking skills and academic potential.
Wow, that sounds intense, but also exciting. It's like a mini academic challenge to prove your mettle.
It is. These universities are looking for the best and brightest, so demonstrating your passion and intellectual agility is crucial.
This has been incredibly insightful. I'm sure our listener feels much more equipped to tackle those applications now. But what happens after you hit that submit button?
But then comes the waiting game, which can be nerve-wracking. But try to stay positive and focus on other aspects of your preparation, like exploring accommodation options.
Speaking of which, finding a place to live is essential, especially if you're moving to a new city or town. What are the housing options like for international students?
UK universities offer a variety of choices, each with its own pros and cons. One popular option is university-managed halls of residence, often located on or near campus.
So that's like dorm life, right? A great way to meet other students and be close to everything.
Exactly. Halls provide a sense of community, especially for first-year students. They also often include meals, which can be convenient and budget-friendly.
But are there any downsides to living in halls?
They can be quite competitive, especially in popular cities. You'll need to apply early, and sometimes they might lack the privacy or independence that some students prefer.
That makes sense. So what about students seeking more independent living arrangements?
Renting a private flat or house is another option. There are plenty of websites and agencies specializing in student accommodation. Just be sure to do your research and choose a reputable landlord or letting agent.
So due diligence is key when venturing into private rentals. What about costs?
Rent prices vary significantly depending on location size and amenities. It's crucial to budget carefully and factor in additional costs like utilities and transportation.
That's sound advice. Any other accommodation options worth considering?
Homestays are a great way to experience British culture firsthand, and with a local family, which can provide a supportive and immersive environment.
Living arrangement.
You're interesting. What about healthcare? That's a big concern when studying abroad.
The UK has the National Health Service, or NHS, which provides free or low-cost healthcare to residents. However, as an international student, you'll need to pay an immigration health surcharge as part of your visa application. This gives you access to the NHS during your studies.
Okay, so that covers medical emergencies and routine healthcare needs, but is it enough?
The NHS is comprehensive, but some students opt for supplementary private health insurance for additional benefits like dental or optical care. It's a personal choice based on individual needs and preferences. Peace of mind is priceless, especially in a new environment. What about other practical matters students should be aware of?
Opening a UK bank account is essential for managing finances and paying bills. Many banks have student-specific accounts with perks and discounts.
So shop around for the best deals.
Exactly. And then there's transportation. The UK has an excellent public transportation system. Buses, trains, and the underground connect most cities and towns. Students often get discounts, so be sure to look for those.
Okay, so we've covered housing, healthcare, banking, and transportation. We're really getting into the practicalities of student life in the UK.
We are. But beyond these logistics, it's important to remember that studying abroad is about embracing the social and cultural experience.
That's what I was just thinking. We can't forget about the fun part.
Exactly. The UK has a vibrant social
And with its rich history and diverse population, there's always something new to discover. It's true. And let's not forget about the proximity to other European countries. A weekend trip to Paris or Amsterdam is just a short flight or train right away.
Wow, a UK education with easy access to continental Europe? That's incredible.
It is. It's all part of the enriching experience of studying in the UK.
This deep dive has been packed with valuable information. We've covered so much from the application process to practicalities of student life, and even touched on the exciting cultural experiences that await.
We have, but there's still more to uncover. In our final part, we'll delve into specific areas like scholarships and financial aid, as well as the transition to a new academic system.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the allure of UK universities to the practicalities of student life.
And now we'll zoom in on some specific areas that often top the list of concerns for students considering studying in the UK.
You're reading my mind. One of the biggest questions we get is about scholarships and financial aid. I mean, the UK can be expensive, so any help with costs is always welcome. Absolutely. It's a very common concern. But the good news is there's a surprising amount of financial support available if you know where to look.
Okay, so let's break it down. We've touched upon the Chevening scholarships. Those seem like the gold standard for international students.
They are highly prestigious, highly competitive, and funded by the UK government. They cover a significant portion and sometimes even the full cost of tuition and living expenses for master's programs. But they're looking for individuals with, demonstrable leadership potential who are committed to making a positive impact.
So it's not just about academic excellence, but also about your aspirations and commitment to contributing to society. What about students from Commonwealth countries? I've heard there are specific scholarships for them.
Yes, the Commonwealth scholarships are fantastic opportunities for postgraduate studies in the UK. They offer a range of awards covering tuition, travel, and living expenses, fostering collaboration and knowledge exchange within the Commonwealth.
I see. So we've got government-funded scholarships, but what about funding directly from universities?
Many UK universities have their own scholarship schemes, specifically for international students. Some are merit-based, others are need-based, and some even focus on specific fields of study. It's crucial to thoroughly research each university's website for these opportunities.
Sounds like a bit of detective work, digging deep into those university websites to uncover those hidden funding gems. Are there any other, less conventional sources that students might overlook?
Definitely. Think about professional organizations related to your field. Some offer grants or scholarships to support students pursuing specific careers. Don't underestimate the power of networking and reaching out to these organizations.
That's a great point. It's about being proactive and exploring all avenues. Even if you don't land a full scholarship, there are ways to manage the costs, right?
Absolutely. Part-time work is an option allowed for international students, usually up to 20 hours per week during term time. It can help supplement your finances and gain valuable work experience in the UK.
So it's not just about earning extra money, but also about immersing yourself in the UK work culture. What about budgeting? Any tips for students on a tight budget?
Budgeting is crucial. Look for student discounts, which are widely available for transportation, entertainment, and even groceries. Cooking at home rather than eating out can save you a significant amount. And remember, many cities have free or low-cost activities like museums and parks.
That's great advice. It's about being resourceful and finding those student-friendly deals. Okay, so we've tackled finances. Another big shift for international students is adapting to a new academic system. What can students expect in terms of teaching and learning styles in the UK?
The UK system emphasizes independent learning and critical thinking. Expect fewer structured lectures and more self-directed study. You'll be encouraged to participate in seminars, engage in debates, and conduct independent research.
So it's about taking ownership of your learning, going beyond textbooks and forming your own arguments. That can be quite a change for students used to more passive learning environments.
It can, but UK universities offer plenty of support. You'll have academic advisors, tutoring services, and writing centers to help you navigate the system.
That's reassuring. It's not a sink or swim situation. There's guidance available for those who need it. What about the social aspect? How can students connect with others and build a support system in a new country?
Joining clubs and societies is a fantastic way to meet like-minded people. UK universities have a vibrant social scene, with clubs catering to every interest imaginable, from sports and music to debating and volunteering.
It's not just about academics, it's about finding your tribe and pursuing your passions. What about those initial weeks or months when everything feels new and maybe a bit overwhelming? Any tips for navigating that transition?
Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Universities have dedicated international student support offices that offer guidance on everything from visa issues to cultural adjustment. They organize orientation programs and social events to help students connect with one another.
That can make such a big difference. Knowing you have a safety net and a support system can really ease those anxieties. It's about
Don't underestimate the power of connecting with other people. They're going through the same experience, and those shared experiences can forge strong bonds and create lasting friendships.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered so much ground, from practical matters like finances and visas to the academic and social aspects of student life in the UK.
We've aimed to equip you with the knowledge and insights to make informed decisions about your UK study journey.
Remember, thorough research, careful planning, and an adventurous spirit are your keys to success.
Embrace the challenges, savor the experiences, and make the most of this incredible opportunity to learn, grow, and expand your horizons.
And who knows, maybe you'll be sharing your own inspiring UK study story someday. So that's a wrap on our deep dive into studying in the UK. We hope you found this exploration insightful and helpful. Happy exploring, and best of luck on your UK adventure.